Everybody, welcome to Brave in Action. I'm Heather Vickery, a transformational success and leadership coach that is dedicated to helping you build a life and a business that you are madly in love with. So, how do I do that? You may be wondering. I do it by helping you learn to like and trust yourself as this version of you, because we cannot grow and achieve and be successful if we're coming from a place of lack or not enough. You're not going to be worthy when you get there. You're worthy right now. And so, helping you learn to like and trust yourself as this phase of you, the world is your oyster. When you hit those roadblocks again, which is bound to happen because we are human, then we come back and we can do it again and learn to like and trust yourself as that new version, because you're no longer who you were and you're not quite who you're going to be. You're right here. And it's a lovely space, even if it feels a little uncomfortable or a little scary. You're right here, and this is where you're meant to be. And I am here to support you on this journey to help you choose bravely, to live your bravest, boldest, most authentic life right now and build from this space of enough. And then eventually it'll all be more than enough. How exciting is that? So today there we go. Today, I specifically wanted to talk with you about giving yourself permission. So, those of you who get the prompts or are a member of my newsletter, if you're not, come join us right now. Go to vickeryandco.com/social. Right at the very top, you can enter your email address and then you'll get my newsletter every week. I always sort of lead from a space of giving myself permission for whatever it is that I need, whatever it is that I feel, whatever it is that I want. But that doesn't come easily. And sometimes I still struggle with it. And I certainly wasn't always this way. That's for sure. So in the past week, I've given myself permission to say no to something that just didn't feel like it settled well with me. I have given myself permission to forgive myself for a situation where I felt like I let myself down. And that situation started where I felt like I'd let other people down. And in the end, it really comes back to me, because when we're taking responsibility for ourselves and our lives, it always comes back to us. We have to take all the responsibility. And in the end, I was asking myself questions about who I wanted and what I wanted for other people, but I wasn't asking myself who I wanted to be and what I wanted for me in this one little situation. So I gave myself some forgiveness there. Sunday, I took my kids and one of my youngest daughter's friends to an indoor water park. We went overnight, which meant we skipped school on Monday. And I gave myself permission to let it be okay to skip school and skip work. And yes, education is important. And yes, work is important, but so is life and spending time together. And those are just a few of the ways that I've given myself permission in the last week. It really wasn't always so easy, though. And I'm like you. It's so much easier to give other people permission or to get permission from other people, right? Listen, I am like most people. I love reassurance. I love it when you guys comment and tell me that you're here and that you're enjoying it and that something I've shared with you resonates with you and lights you up and connects with you or gives you an idea or just makes you feel seen and loved. I love it. I love all of that. Don't stop, right? But that's different than needing somebody else to give you permission to try a thing, to set a boundary, to experience something, to go on an adventure, to make your dreams come true, to believe in yourself, to find your own self-worth and know that you get to take up all the space right now. It is okay. You are already worthy. You are already ready. So I was remembering recently a conversation, and Pam sometimes watches Brave in Action. So if you pop in and you check this out, hi Pam, love you. A former client of mine wanted to start writing. She's working on a memoir. And every time she would sit down at her computer, a blank page, which is also one of my worst fears. I don't like a blank page. Do you guys like a blank page? She couldn't do it, or she wouldn't give herself time to do it. And one day we were in a group coaching session, and I said, I give you permission to not write perfectly, to not write for an hour, to not write what you sat down to write. I give you permission. Hey, Brian, how are you? I give you permission to do whatever shows up for you. So set aside the time and sit down. And maybe you want to write by talking to text, right? Google does that, or your phone does that. Just click that button and you can speak and it transcribes it for you. Or maybe you want to voice record yourself and then send it to Otter AI and transcribe it. And maybe you thought you were going to start working on the book, but you really want to talk about a totally different topic today. What you had for breakfast, or the pretty tree that you can see outside your window, whatever it is. Write about whatever you want and just build that habit. And I said, but here's the thing, my love. It doesn't matter if I give you permission. The person whose permission you need is your own. So if you're out there and you're not doing something that you know you deeply desire, if you're not challenging yourself enough to try new things or adventure or explore or live the life you deeply feel you're destined for, but something's holding you back, I give you permission, but you need to give you permission. And once you do, once you give yourself true and complete permission to just try, to just show up, and to not have specific expectations of what's going to happen on the other end, I am telling you, my friend, magical things are going to show up for you. They truly, truly are. You are going to find that you have more ideas, more inspiration, more energy, more excitement. You're kinder to yourself. There's more self love, more self compassion, right? It doesn't all have to be exactly one way. Do you guys remember what my one rule is? Who's been around long enough that they know what my one rule is? If you know it, type it in the chat. We've got 2 different chats going here. Type it in the chat. Let me know. For those of you who are new, my only rule is that there are no fucking rules. You get to do life the way you want to do life, as long as, and I always have to put this caveat out, and it just so happens I have my awesome Pride sweatshirt from Kind Cotton on here. I feel like Kind Cotton clothing is my winter uniform. So shout out to Caitlin. I'll have to tag you. As long as you living your truest self, as long as you going, fuck it, I'm going to do it the way I want, does not cause anybody else any harm or strip away somebody else's rights, then fuck them. No, you don't have to make a certain number of sales calls a day. You can make more, or maybe today the brave thing is just one. No, you don't have to sit and write all the time if you're going to write a book. Maybe you can start with 15 minutes and build up that muscle. You can build a podcast the way you want. Listen, I used to teach a podcasting course. I built 2 podcasts from nothing. When I first started my podcast, I had no fucking idea what to do. I had to Google all of it, like software and equipment and all of that, right? I didn't have access to any of that information, but I chose to start. I committed to starting, and then I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I don't know how to do this. And I did some research and I found this awesome woman, Tracy, I'll have to tag you too, who was my podcast coach, my podcast mentor. We had 3 sessions and she helped me understand the manifest or the parameters around how to create a good podcast. And now I've been doing it for 5 years and I can tell you how to do it right. But what matters is that you do it at all. Start it on your phone. You can record on your phone. Is the sound going to be great? No. Does it matter? Not really. Put it out there. Who cares? There are no rules. Do it however you want. Give yourself permission to do whatever the fuck you want, as long as it does not hurt someone else or take away someone else's rights. And so I would like to know if any of you are willing to chat in the chat box. What is it that you're currently not doing that you really like to do, but you kind of need permission? You can chat with me. You can let me know whatever that is. And I'm wondering if you would be willing to write yourself a permission slip. That's what we did with Pam. I had her write a permission slip. I don't know exactly what it said, but something of to the effect of, Dear Pam, you have permission to sit down for a short amount of time and write about anything you want. There are no rules, right? Surrender the outcome, just be in the process and experience. So For all of you, whatever is showing up for you, find a way to give yourself permission. Maybe it's verbal. For me, sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. I can do this. I'm ready. Let's go. Right? Sometimes it's like that. And sometimes I have to write it down. Some of you might like to do a little research first. That's okay. But we're talking about things that boil down to our own self-worth, and that we maybe think we don't have something to add to the conversation or bring to the table. Or perhaps it's always been done one way and can't do it a different way. Well, what happens if you just try? Or if you pitch it, to the boss, or you pitch it to the team, or whomever, your partner, your spouse, your kids. Hey, I know we've always done this thing like that, but what if we try it like this? Give yourself permission to ask for what you need. Give yourself permission to set firm boundaries and then keep them, communicate them really clearly and keep them. Why? Why do we want to set, communicate, and keep clear boundaries? Because boundaries are the key to guilt-free freedom. That's why boundaries will change your damn life all the time. Set those fucking boundaries. Boundaries are limits that define acceptable behavior, and you get to decide what's acceptable to you. You get to give yourself permission to try, to start, to stop, to do, to change, to believe, whatever it is that you most deeply need. And I see you, and I'm here for you, and I support you. So you can email me, heather@vickeryandco.com. You can send me a message here, send me a DM, let me know what's showing up for you. What do you need permission for? And let's figure out a way for you to give it to yourself. All right, folks, I'm going to pull a Create Brave card. For those of you who don't know, I created this deck of manifestation cards with my amazing, wonderful friend, Rachel Swanson. She's a creativity coach, and I am the Brave Method coach. And we combined our coaching prowesses to create a deck of cards that help you guide and source your next step, to think about something in a unique way, out of the box. The artwork is gorgeous. Rachel did all the artwork. She deserves all the props for that. If you want your own set of Create Brave cards, go to, the card popped out. We'll save it. Go to vickeryandco.com/social, and you can buy the card deck. You could buy my books, Fuck Fearless, or my gratitude journal, Shift Your Focus, or the kids and family version, which is called Grow Grateful. All of that stuff is right there for you. I always shuffle until the universe says, this is your card. And folks, this is your card. You guys can't see it on Instagram. I'll fix it. Intention. I choose to understand the motivation for my choices. I love that this showed up today when we're talking about permission. I choose to understand the motivation for my choice. That's pretty powerful, right? If you can understand the motivation for your choices, then it's easier to give yourself permission, right? For whatever it is that you have been holding yourself back from. So I'll read the guidebook, and then I will wish you all a beautiful, magical day. I choose to understand the motivation for my choices. Creating a beautiful, brave, joy-filled life doesn't happen by accident. It happens because you created it that way. Choosing to be intentional about your thoughts and actions provides an opportunity for you to build a life that you love. Understand where you want to go and who you want to be in the world. Ask for what you want and know when to say yes or when to say no. This will pave the way towards empowerment. Look for and focus on the why for all of your decisions. It's really powerful. I'm going to read it again. Look for and focus on the why for all of your decisions. This knowledge is what pushes you to do hard things. Knowing the why behind the action makes almost anything doable. Allow it to drive you and guide you. Be present and mindful of your goals. You have the amazing ability to make it so. And then we give you a Create Brave prompt, a thing you can go out and do. And I love the Create Brave prompt for this. When you look at your schedule for the day or week ahead, are you able to easily identify why each of your tasks is valuable and important? Do any of these tasks feel especially hard? Get honest about why these tasks are worth the effort. And if they are not worth it, then perhaps remove them from your list or delegate them. How cool is that? I love it. It fits beautifully with permission. Thank you so much for being here, for sharing a little bit of heart space with me today. If you enjoy the free content that I put out, my weekly Brave in Action live show, where we are right now, or either of my podcasts, The Brave Files or Was It Chance, I invite you. You all asked for this and I gave it to you. And it takes a lot for me to say this every day or every week, but I do it because I've committed to it and I give myself permission. You can say thanks. You can give me a tip, buy me a coffee, whatever. You do that by going to vickeryandco.com/say thanks. And whatever amount feels appropriate for whatever inspiration or knowledge or excitement or whatever really showed up for you that's helping you move towards the person you most desire being in the world. You could do that at vickeryandco.com/say thanks. This is Heather Vickery. I'm so thrilled and so honored to be here with you always, every single week. Until we talk again, I am reminding you today and every day to go out and choose bravely. Bye.